I think risk taking is underrated. I know that it feels scary for so many of us, but I think risk taking is essential. I think it is so important to building that dream life and to having business success. I really, truly do.
Hello and welcome back to number 2 of my interview with Ioana Wilkinson. Ioana and I, we had such a great connection and we ended up speaking for almost 2 hours that I had to separate the interview into 2 parts. And I am so grateful. She has shared so many insights and learnings from how she built her freelance writing business, but not just how she built it, but also scaled and automated the business and what tools and learnings have helped her work through challenges that have come up on the way. She essentially has replaced her teaching income within months of freelance writing, starting with 0 experience. So it's all possible. You just have to have the right setup and the right foundations. And maybe a little bit of determination and discipline, I would say. So let's dive into episode number 2, where Ioana shares more about how she built this business and how she ended up scaling it and put the right tools and foundations in place for the business to support her lifestyle, her family without burning out. Thank you so much for tuning in again today. Enjoy. Welcome to Mama What's Next, a podcast for all the amazing women navigating the wonderful challenges of exploring a new version of yourself after becoming a mom. I'm your host, Melly, and together with my incredible guests, I'm here to help you explore who you are now and help guide you to your true path, one that feels authentic and fulfilling at the same time. Motherhood changes everything, yes. It's beautiful, transformative, and sometimes it pulls us away from the woman we were. Together we dive into career change stories and how to live a life that truly reflects who we are without guilt and with the courage to embrace your journey. So get yourself a coffee, steal a moment for yourself, and let's explore this next chapter of your life. I am super happy that you're here. Welcome. Have there been any challenges, like a heartbreak hill that you've had to walk through aside from the bureaucracy in Spain, obviously, where you feel like, oh my God, I wasn't sure I had to turn around, and how you've overcome it? Yeah. Or has it been smooth sailing? I always have to giggle like asking the question because never is right.
I've never had problems. Everything has always been amazing. Follow me for more tips.
Lucky girl syndrome.
No, there was this time where I was writing for an agency. I loved them. They were a fantastic client, but they had some internal structure problems. And so they were plummeting and they didn't give me any kind of a heads up. And so I basically was writing a ton of pieces for them, and then boom, overnight, no more pieces. So that was a incredible moment because it taught me everything that I teach my students now, which is that you cannot build a business off of scarcity and you cannot rely on short-term projects. Short-term, and you need to be careful with your contracts. Short-term projects are fine for short-term money. If you want long-term work, you need to be very diligent with your contracts and you need to be very diligent with your relationship building. So that experience actually led me to create the all-in system because, my husband, I had retired him at that point. So he was just helping me with the kid and the house management. And I created the methodology behind it. And within 30 days, I had 8 clients. So not only did I replace that one client, I got 7 more clients. And I actually had to hire other writers to help me. And so I had my little mini agency, but then that was so cool because with these other clients that I onboarded, I was able to say, this is what I need to have in the contract. This is what you're agreeing to. this is how much notice you have to give me if you want to drop orders or if you want to cancel. So that way, if you do drop orders or you cancel, guess what I do? I follow my all-in system to replace you within that time frame. So you're still paying me while I'm looking to replace you. And then by that time that window's over, I've already replaced you with my next client using my all-in system. So that was devastating. It was terrifying, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And now I know how to teach people to build freelance writing businesses that actually scale and make money consistently. Not this, oh, well, 1 minute I have a project, 1 minute I don't, 1 minute they drop me. And I think people are afraid of being assertive, especially women. Mm-hmm. They may feel like the client holds the cards or the business holds the cards. But if you actually show up assertively and you say what you want, you would be surprised how much these clients respect you and will give you what you want. And the other reason why it's not just the assertiveness, the other reason why is because what you're asking for is fair. Yeah. You're asking for something fair, consistent work, notice. I mean, because, for the longest time, it was like, okay, I have to give you notice if I quit, or I have to give you notice if I pull away from projects. But what about you? There's a relationship here. You need to also give me notice as the writer. This is a professional relationship. I'm not just someone off the street, that did a couple articles for you. Let's end this amicably, or let's transition out of this amicably. But yeah, so that it was terrifying, but absolutely necessary. And I'm so glad that it happened.
Yeah. Which is brings us back to the point that there's always a gift in every, terrible situation. I always try and find that little diamond somewhere in there, right?
For sure.
But it's exactly that, right? In the end, it was a lucky situation for you because you learned so much and you put your systems. But that, by the way, is like a structure and system we all need. Yeah. Do you teach that separately?
That's awesome. That's a really good question. I keep wondering if I should package the all-in system as its own product as well that other service providers can use. But I always teach whatever anyone wants one-on-one. I'm not a group coach. I'm a one-on-one coach, which I know everyone's like, oh, let's go to group coaching. I realize you make more money group coaching, but if I'm going to work with someone on their business, I don't want all these other faces in the group. I want to work with you directly. What are your problems? Let's tailor it to your business. Anything related to strategy, I'm totally happy to jump on a call on and talk with a business owner through, for sure.
Yeah, because I find, especially with moms, when we talk about these challenges, it's often the time you have to put on, and I see this with myself too. You put on work, you put on so much time into your work, getting your projects out the door in time and working towards fulfilling them. But at the same time, you're already oh my God, I need to do some extra, applying for new projects and going to, out to pitch for things, or, position yourself in the way that you may not have to pitch as much anymore. That people come to you because they realize you're an expert and they want someone that's specialized in that field. Yes. But yeah, it's a time management situation problem as well, I think. Sure. So which is why I think probably your system applies to many service area, service providers, solopreneurs in different niches. I could imagine that being applicable to different areas too, different categories.
Yeah, definitely. I also am leading a low ticket funnel challenge channel in WhatsApp right now with a few of my friends. And the long-term goal of this little challenge that we're doing is to learn the back end of automating digital products. Because eventually what I want to do is not just teach people how to write for other businesses, but also how to create digital products, just like my freelance writing course, so they could create their own course or ebook or whatever, mini course, templates, trackers, checklists, could be anything, and then set up funnels to sell those on autopilot. This is something I think mothers are in desperate need of. Could you imagine like taking your little one to the beach and you're eating ice cream and then you look down on your phone and it's like $3,000, $2,000, $100, sale. That is the ultimate goal for me with my sister business, with the coaching and digital product business, is really automating it as much as possible. Because I'm just noticing that like there's just not enough of it. And with inflation going the way it is, I want my income to continue to scale. And my husband also fell recently, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so he's not able to walk right now. He's not able to do pretty much anything. So now I'm managing the house. I'm managing Rosie. I'm managing my 2 businesses. It is wild. But if I had my second business already automated, I could cut back on some of the agency work a bit if I wanted, or just give the work to my writers and be there for my husband, be there for my daughter, be there for our house more, not be so stretched in a million directions because I have this automated income coming in. So that's like the ultimate next goal for me, is getting to that point, because I'm noticing like, okay, what about when my parents get ill? I'm going to want to go and take care of them. I don't want to be a hamster on a wheel constantly writing article after article after article. I also want to have money that's constantly coming in automatically. So I love service providers, love service-based work. And also I think automation is very important in bringing in some extra income, that we don't have to work so damn hard. We're always so pulled in many directions. If we could have that stream, I think it would free us up so much more, even to just live life, just to be with our kiddos and our families and go on a walk and,
Yeah. And understand that it's possible if we put the right foundation in place. I'm not there by any means either, but I know that it's possible. I know that you can put that foundation in, and that's a chunk of work. But once you do that, the possibility is there. Like, we can actually get to that next level. And I think that's what women have to understand. Like, we are capable. We have the tools and the processes, they're out there, like with people like you that can teach us.
Happy to. And also happy to say that like, I'm also blessed to have like my little team, like I have a virtual assistant who like plans my little outlines for me, and plans my outlines for me. And I have writers that help me and support me. And, with the engagement that I told you that I did that little test, like, is engagement going to work? One of the people that reached out was an automations builder. And he's creating automations in exchange for testimonials right now.
Yes.
So he's actually building my low, mid, high ticket buyer's journey right now, automation for me. And we'll see if it works, and we'll test it out and all that good stuff. But that's the other part too, is that you can also collaborate with other people that are looking to do something similar, and they can help you build your website or your automations or your funnels or your ads. And I think that that's another way that we can go a little bit further, because we're so stressed. Or if you have the means to hire, even for just 2 hours, a housekeeper for you to like work on a landing page, sometimes hiring that housekeeper for a couple hours is worth the money that you're going to make from your revenue from your business. Again, I know everyone has different, budgets in place and stuff, but I've learned that the more that I resource myself and support myself with other amazing humans, the further I can go, the faster I can go, and the more I can make. And then it's cool because you're also supporting their businesses and supporting their lives.
Yeah, it's a different way of thinking. I as a business owner, I think it's not that solopreneur, I'm just doing everything, muddling my way through. Right. Somehow it's a different way of it's a way of thinking. I'm building a business properly, and there's going to be people taking certain parts that they might be better suited to than you are, and you're concentrating on the core of the work, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that part. I love seeing people like shine in their magic. Like, It's so funny. My virtual assistant, when I reached out to her about being my virtual assistant, because she's also a close old friend of mine, she was like, administration? You have administration for me? I would love to. She genuinely loves admin work. Like she wants her stapler and her paper clips and her docs and her files, and she loves it, which I totally get because I'm nerdy about paper clips too. But I love that part. The automations builder, he's obsessed with automation. It's a joy for him to build this automation right now. So that's what's so cool, that collaborating with other people that have passion as well. But even for you, you may already be thinking of this, but a great product for you would be to create a mini course on like how to create a podcast, how to grow a podcast, market a podcast, find people to interview on your podcast, monetize a podcast. And that's just one leg. There's so many other things that that you could teach about.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I'm being multi-passionate. I'm still struggling with that.
Mm-hmm. it's a
lot. There's like different legs, and I'm just like trying to now narrow it down to like what you said. There's 2 legs in my business. I actually have to now narrow that down to 2, I think, and just sit with that. And with Mama What's Next now, I think I'm starting to focus on maybe helping people just figure out that next step. Mm-hmm. Not everything. In the beginning, I had this big vision of like, I'll collaborate with different coaches and mentors, but it's just me building it for now. And I haven't found the right kind of collaborators yet that can take it to the next level. And so it's just like in my mind, it was just a little bit, like overwhelming. But I think there's also not a lot of people like that just focus on helping you figure out that next step, and also combining the spiritual and the career expertise and my whole background, consulting, marketing, that I can bring a lot to people. And I have a lot of strategic insight that I can help people with, but it's more a consulting approach rather than a coaching approach. Mm-hmm. But, it's definitely like when you say that, I'm like, oh, yes, that sounds exciting.
Absolutely. A course on that, package up a what's next course, that would be so cool. And you could even, if you wanted to, you could even have variations of it depending on the industry they're in or their goals. There's so much you could do with that. And that's so amazing because people get overwhelmed with some people get overwhelmed with the big picture, and they really just want to know, can you please just tell me that next step? I'm beg of you. I'm willing to take action. Just tell me what to do. Yes. So that's huge. That's very valuable.
Hey, it's Melly from Mama What's Next, and thank you so much for listening today. Did you know we actually have a free membership at mamawhatsnext.com, where you can connect with like-minded moms and find tools to help you navigate your next steps with confidence. And if you ever feel like you need a little more personal guidance to help you figure out what comes next for you, I am here to support you one-on-one as well. I know what it's like to feel you've lost yourself, to start from zero in a new country, pivoting and transforming a career. I have done it several times alone as a single mom across 4 countries. And I would love nothing more than helping you rediscover yourself, see your potential, and build a work life that feels aligned with who you truly are. So if that sounds like something you'd love, come and visit me at mamawhatsnext.com. I'd love to hear from you. I think so. Yeah, it's the clarity. People just don't know the next. Like they are scared of the mountain.
Yes.
And it makes them just not even start. And I had no problem ever starting, and sometimes like ridiculous because you're trying to climb a mountain that is like, woof.
I love that.
But I wouldn't change it for the world. All the experiences and the learnings, I would not change anything, honestly. So
that's beautiful.
But it makes me feel like when you reflect on this now, it makes me go, oh, that sounds really nice to like just share that with you and have your like perspective on this. So thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Absolutely. I think it is something that is it's something that just about anyone could do if they have a computer and some kind of body of knowledge, which most people do, I believe. And yeah, that's what's so cool about it. Also, when it comes to advertising, this is a little nerdy, but when it comes to advertising, the return on ad spend is actually pretty nice. And I think it's because, well, I know it's because advertising platforms, they want your ads to succeed because they make money if your ads succeed as well. So whether you're advertising on Google or Instagram or whatever, they also want you to make money. So if you create a course and you start running ads to it, you should be able to make profit instantly. Now, if you just invest a little bit in ads, you're just going to make a few $100s. But then the next month you can invest a little bit more. And then the next month a little bit more. And it'll just continue to stack in that way, especially if you reinvest your revenue from that back into the ads. That's how you can really capitalize and scale the ads. So really what it comes down to is putting in the time to build that product. And then like you mentioned, building the back end with connecting the tools and the automations. And that part is overwhelming. But once it's put together, oof, the freedom. And imagine you put that together for one product, then you could do that for another. Can you imagine the web of automations for all of your products? Just be amazing.
Yes, that sounds amazing.
I can't wait to see that happen for more and more people. I really believe that's the future, and I cannot wait to see it happen.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing this and reflecting on it. It's, I think it just shows to so many out there that it really is like accessible to us. Like we can actually build this. We can actually do this.
For sure.
So very important, you know?
Yeah.
I think, and that's why I think it's also so important for me to just speak to, you know, women, mothers that are just like you and me, you know? Mm-hmm. There's enough people having podcasts with all the big shots in the world, and I love to listen to them too. But it's so out of reach what they have built, what they have done, that it's sometimes hard to relate. So I feel it's really important that we speak to women, your kind of client, and
right.
Yeah, I think it's very relatable, all your experience, your journey, your path, and what you do, what you teach. So
amazing. I'm so glad to hear that. Of course. I have a question. Why do you think it's out of reach with those kind of like the big people that appear on the podcast?
I think it depends. Yes, I think it depends a little bit on your circumstance and the environment. And I think when women, oftentimes, from my circle as well, like working mothers, everybody does what they can, but it's more like a getting by, especially here in Spain, like it's this kind of like, maybe I have a part-time job and I do a little bit of freelance work, but it's like, not really that great, tricky, hard. But you're also not in the right circles. I think it's always important to have the right environment to understand that it's within reach, that it's possible. And I think for many, the goal, the dream, the idea in their head is just something that is, that feels nice. They don't understand that we can actually have a different level of success. Even as a mom, as a solo parent, we can actually have it, but we have to allow ourselves to create that picture in our mind and to start feeling this and to put ourselves in the right circumstance and like have, people like you show us how, teach us how, and also like we can see, people walking the path, you walk your talk. So, but I think for many women, like when I hear that, like mums, it's often this kind of like, oh, you're so lucky you get to do this, even to live in Spain. Oh, you're so lucky to. Yeah. Well, actually, no, I just jumped. I just did it. Like I just took a risk.
Right.
And then
Right.
once you're in, because the thing with manifestation is like you really do have to, you have to walk the path. You
Yes.
have to show with your action that
Yes.
you are going to want to be there.
Yes.
If you just dream about it, it's not going to happen. Like you actually have to walk your talk essentially.
Yes.
And like you had to move to Spain not knowing if it's going to work out or not. I had to move to Spain not knowing. And the worst case scenario would have been like a year later, I have to move back because I find no way of earning a living here, earning an income here. So that's the worst case scenario. Then you still have a year. So for example, I don't know, but you just have to jump. You have to try, give it a go and just see what happens. But signal to God, to the universe, that's where I want to be. That's what I want to do.
I think risk taking is underrated. I think I know that it feels scary for so many of us, but I think risk taking is essential. I think it is so important to building that dream life and to having business success. I really, truly do. The best things that have ever happened to me in business and life have been because I took a risk. So I totally, totally agree. It breaks my heart when I share my dreams and passions with someone and they say something like what you just said, you're so lucky. You're so lucky. Well, that's good for you. I wish I could do that. I could never do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you say that? Because it's not true. Now, if you don't want that, that's a different story. And that's totally fine. Totally fine. But if you actually want to move abroad or you want to have an online business or you want to scale to multiple amounts, you totally, totally can. And it's funny because, when I go out with my girlfriends and I talk like this, they're like, oh, you're just so positive. You're just so positive. And I'm like, but I'm not just being positive. Like, I really think this is the truth, like they're like, oh, she's always just so positive and bubbly. Good for her. And I'm like, no, it's not a personality quirk. It's like, it's literally what I believe, like I genuinely think that there are endless possibilities. And I want to live in a world of endless possibilities. I can't live in a world of being capped financially, dream-wise, anything. I cannot do it.
Let's decide not to do it.
Yes.
That was such a beautiful, I cannot accept that.
No, unacceptable.
Agreed.
Yes.
Moving on.
Now that that's squared away.
So sadly, we have to come to the end. I could talk with you forever. It's been quite a long conversation and I've just enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you so much, Ioana. It's been so beautiful.
Same.
Sharing this time with you. And thank you so much.
Absolutely.
for joining me today.
Here. Yeah.
It's been such a joy and so much I've learned from you and from everything you've shared today as well. I'm very grateful you've shared all your learnings and insights and taught us so much today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. It means a lot to be here and I really appreciate the invitation.
Thank you. Ioana, where can we generally find you online if we want to connect with you? So if anyone says this was amazing, I want to learn more what she has to offer, how she can work with me, help me, teach me, where do we find you?
Yeah, so you can email me at ioana@innovatechcontent.com. Or you can email me at ioanawilkinson@gmail.com if you want to book mentorship or you want to get your hands on my freelance writing course. Those emails are amazing. Or you can DM me on Instagram. Ioana_writing business coach is my Instagram handle. Or you can find me on LinkedIn. That's also a great spot if you want to stalk my freelance writing profile, see what that looks like for other clients that are looking for writers. So yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram, or you can shoot me an email.
Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did today. Because, clearly I have been talking with Ioana for 2 hours. We cut this episode into 2 parts. So thank you so much for joining us today. The key takeaways I want you to remember. Number 1, motherhood doesn't have to mean losing yourself. You can travel with your kids, you can build businesses very successfully, even as a solo parent. You can live internationally. The rules about what moms should do, society makes them up. They're not real. You can do anything you really put your mind to. Trust me, I've done it too. Number 2, your fear might be your GPS. Ioana's biggest fear was losing her freedom, so she designed a business specifically to protect it. Number 3, spiritual guidance is practical strategy, from visa applications to rate increases. She literally asks God for direction and she gets clear answers. Isn't that beautiful? Number 4, your kids are watching. The example you set by following your dreams teaches them more than any lesson you could give. Number 5, community happens when you choose it. Whether it's in Barcelona, by the beach, or in Oklahoma, you create the life you want. You just have to go out there and look for it and be determined to find what you look for. Intuitive business decisions work. That random Instagram engagement that led to aligned opportunities, also here, also with this conversation, that is not a coincidence. Thank you so much for listening today. We're living in a time when more than ever, everything is possible. And my conversation with Ioana is proof of that. But only if you're willing to listen to your inner guidance and learn to trust where that's leading you. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Thank you for sharing the episode. Thank you also very, very much to giving us a review, to subscribing to Mama What's Next. I am so grateful because as we grow our listeners here, we also start to reach more women across the world. And that is so exciting because we get to inspire more people. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lots of love. Until next week. Bye.
Stop the battle within your soul. You know it's all in your head. Being sad doesn't make you smart. It seems your heart just needs a fresh start.